Alright, so a while ago I was asked to make a video and I didn't. I did, actually, but then I never saved it. And the question was about, do I believe that the church, I think it was the Catholic Church, if I'm not mistaken, is a force of good in the world, why or why not? And it's a very, very, very difficult question. And in order to understand what a force of good is, it's just an interesting concept because there is nothing in this entire world that is in its entirety good. I am not a good person. I am a person that leans towards good tendencies, but I have done some shitty things, and I believe that about a lot of people. So and that's just the way I look at the world because I'm kind of a bastard. I mean, I do a lot of good stuff, but I'm still kind of a bastard. So you're coming from a cynical point of view when you leave my head and look at something, and in that you will see a lot of shit. Um, Even though I know some great people, I know shitty things about them, and I'm like, wow, wow, he was really cool to talk to for 5 minutes, but then I found out he was a racist scumbag, so now I'm no longer friends. Like things like that, or whatever may have you, etc., yada yada yada, blah blah blah. My problem when it comes to an argument like this is that you have to weigh good and bad, and unfortunately, making that weight, uh, or making that decision, weighing those two things means you have to have all of the data, which I do not have. So this is a preface. I'm going to preface, yes, the rest of this video by saying, if you have something that that you think I have overlooked, let me know. If you have something that I am wrong on, let me know. And I might argue with you, because if I have facts to support myself, I'll be like, no. But if you have facts to back yours up, I will take it into account, and my opinion may change. At this moment in time, with the current Pope and the current people in charge of the Catholic Church, I believe that it is not a force of good in the world. And this is a very serious note on my end. The previous Pope, I loved. Like, as a person, he just was a cool guy. I could see hanging out with him, I could see him being like a non-judgmental person. He was one of the first people to stand against the practice of relocation of pedophile priests. Being the first one to do that, one, shocking. It was like 2006. Two, good for him, because it's probably hard to do that. That's why we actually ended up hearing about it on the news more, because the church wasn't covering it up. They were just like, no, fuck them. If they do that, fuck them. Like, which, I mean, granted, the church probably didn't say that in those terms, but I hope they did, because, like, who deserves it more, right? These are people that were trusted, and then they were using that trust to hurt people, and I think that's wrong. And since he has died, that practice has changed back to, hey, let's relocate those people again. Which hurts. I mean, like, honestly, I thought the church was making a step in a progressive direction. That previous pope was a progressive pope. He was trying to move forward. He was trying to say things like, he's the one who was like, why are we saying that unbaptized babies go to hell if they die? Like, that's ridiculous. If a baby's unbaptized, they go to purgatory. Like, and he just like moved it, you know? I mean, because that's ridiculous. A baby has no say in whether or not it's baptized. You cannot say that a baby, you know, it's like, yeah, you did not make your parents baptize you. You should have cried nonstop for months. Like, it doesn't, I don't even know. How do you punish a baby for that? So he was like a logical person, and he was a cool person. He was very educated, and I liked listening to him talk. Even well, I liked listening to the translator say the things that he was saying. But you know, and then this guy came around, and I've heard things from eyewitnesses, and these could be biased because it is Stephen Fry who I'm about to quote, but he goes to Africa. He sees the things that I don't see. He says that there are priests out there that are telling people in Africa using condoms will help spread AIDS. So the only way you can do anything is to be what's it? I don't even know the word. How sad is this? I'm gonna have this argument. I was trying to sound like an intelligent person. I can't remember. Um, not celibate, but that's close. Basically, only have sex with the person you want to marry, which is something that they're also trying to push here through a different way, which I think is ridiculous. And then you have its like hand in politics, which it skews me out whenever religion gets involved in politics because it shouldn't be. Like I understand that a lot, all of society's laws and codes are built on religions throughout the ages, but we have science where we have facts, and then you have someone's beliefs, and their beliefs are trying to counteract facts sometimes. Sometimes. I will say that there are some things that are in the Bible that I personally agree with, like the Ten Commandments. I think those are amazing. But I do not see when people quote one thing from the Bible that's found in this passage over here, but they will live in direct opposition of 20 other passages. For instance, whatever the Pope's opinion on gay marriage is, if he's against it, because I do not know, but if he is, let's just say he is for the time being, because I'm assuming, whatever grounds he can argue that, he's living in a palace that is made of gold. He's sitting on a throne that is made of gold. That's greed. That's one of the 7 deadly sins. I cannot believe that you would be able to pass judgment on other people while sitting on a throne made of gold. Melt it down, donate it somewhere. I don't know, just like it doesn't make any sense to me at all. He could save the economy with the seat he is sitting on. Like, it blows my mind. It utterly blows my mind. And that's just weird. It's a strange thing. It just bothers me. A lot of religions in general bother me, and that is not to try to tell you your religion is wrong or that you are a bad person for having religion. I truly believe that there are people in this world that are better people because of religion. I think a lot of the things that I learned that I wanted to be, I learned in Sunday school. However, I know for a fact that I do not do good in the name of God. I mean, I guess I'd be an agnostic if you had to label me as something. Because I don't believe in the Christian God, and I don't believe in the Jewish God, and I don't believe in Allah, and I don't believe in who else can I say? Buddha as a god, I believe in him as a person because there's historical things. Same goes for Jesus. Son of God, that's not my call to make. I just liked some of his teachings. Um, I'm not a person who has a name for the higher power that has made stuff. Like, I do not pretend to know anything as his wishes, but if there was an omnipresent, omnipotent, omniperceptual being that could see, hear, whatever I did, and I'm still here, like, I would hope that I'm doing well. And I would hope that when I'm not here anymore and my time is up and I've done all I can, that I would go to a place that is not shitty. That said, if I go to heaven, or whatever, we'll call it heaven, if I go meet whatever creator or whatever representative of creator I end up having to meet, and they say, turns out you're left-handed. You're left-handed, so you have sinned. As we have stated in our Bible 4 times. You have to go to hell. I'd be like, well, shit. Like, who knew? Like, I should have been right-handed the whole time. It doesn't make sense to me that these people can pass these arbitrary rules, and because they've been the rules for so long, no one is allowed to clarify them. Or if they do clarify them, it's only specific people who can clarify them. And it's usually filled with hatred, and that just makes me very uncomfortable. I have gone to church. I went until I was 9. I was like a good kid, kinda. I was super nerdy, as you can tell by these fantastic new glasses. I didn't really know a lot, but I went to a Methodist church, which I don't know what that means in the terms of Catholicism. I really don't. I just went to a Methodist church, and or Christianity, I should say. I don't know what it means in terms of Christianity, even, or in terms of religion. What the difference from other religions is. I learned a lot of stuff about human nature, though. We had a minister who I believe she was a woman. She was a lovely human being. She was very nice. She talked to me even though I was an obnoxiously talkative little kid, as you can tell from this video. And she would sit there and she would give these messages about forgiveness, these messages about loving your neighbor, and all these, because you'd have to listen to the church thing before you went to Sunday school, and it was a big thing. And I ended up going to church after that, up till I was 9, when I was like done being in Sunday school, and I was allowed to listen to the full stories with the wrath of God, etc., etc. And the people in this church who were on the church board of whatever invited my mom to these meetings, and they were trying to convince her to get this minister woman fired. And the reason behind it was because I think she was a hoarder, if I'm not mistaken. She just lived in the house that was filled with shit. Not like, poop, but poop. But she just lived in a place that had a lot of stuff, but you would never know that looking at her. She was always clean. She was always nice. She was always a good person. She just never invited you over her house. Like, and these people were like, you have to do it. And it gave my mom like an ulcer. She was like really upset about it. And then when she wouldn't do it, they were like, you're not even allowed to be at these meetings. So we left, because we were just like, I'm done. Like, this is horrendous. Like my mom was like, I'm done. This is horrendous. And I was like, sweet, I get to play soccer on Sundays. Like, because I didn't understand what was going on. It's just weird. It's just, so I think that it has done good for specific people in their lives. However, the teachings of compassion and loving and empathy, as a big one, have gone astray, amiss, and just vanished entirely, which I think is sad. And so I cannot honestly say that the religion is a force of good in society. I'm sorry. It's just my feeling. Again, if you disagree, let me know. Have a good one, and I'm out.